The exercise of the week this week is going to be single leg box step downs. We absolutely love this single leg exercise, not only because it helps you develop single leg strength, but also it can help you work on your balance and stability in both your hip and your knee. Now for the setup, all you need is a box. The thing is that you need to find what box height is appropriate for you based on your movement capacity, your height. So it might take a little bit of trial and error for you to figure that out. But regardless, the number one mistake I see people make from the get-go is that they start with a box that's too high. I would always recommend you start with a box that you're guaranteed to be able to do this exercise, and then if necessary or it's warranted, and as your movement capacity and strength increases, you can work on increasing the height of the box. So we always start everybody at what we call baseline, which is just simply a body weight single leg squat off of a box. In terms of your setup, you're going to stand on the box. I always like to cue people to set up to make sure that both feet can fit on the box, because I like to plant my foot on the box between reps. So to initiate the exercise, I'm going to reach out and lower my heel to the ground. I say heel because we don't want to press off the ground. Once my heel gently taps the ground, I'm going to drive through my foot on the box to come back to that standing position. So I lean forward, reach out, gently tap my heel, push through the box to stand up. You might notice that as I go down and I reach out, that cues my chest to lean forward, which helps me maintain my balance over the midfoot on the box. Sometimes we see people trying to stay really upright as they squat, but at some point it just doesn't work. So you're going to lean forward, your shin angle and your torso angle look the same. You gently tap your heel and come back up. So I would do the prescribed reps on one side, flip around, do the prescribed reps on the other side. Now, if I show you from the front, I have to keep my weight shifted into my working stance leg. So that might mean I'm slightly leaning into this leg as I tap that heel on the ground and come up. What we don't want to see is you bouncing off the ground like this. Pushing. There's no pushing. We want to avoid pushing. If you notice that you're pushing off the ground a lot, I would tell you to get rid of a box. Lower the height so you can focus entirely on doing all of the work on the stance leg and you're not pushing off the ground. Now, let's say you're really struggling to do this exercise, either from a balance standpoint or just pure strength. What we do is we assist the pattern. That's what we call it, assisting the pattern. So either holding onto some rings, grabbing a PVC pipe like this. Now I hold this so that I have something to stabilize against as I work on developing my strength and coordination with this exercise. And maybe even I use 2 PVC pipes. We always want to align the exercise to your ability. So if you need to start assisted until you notice that you're developing more strength and coordination, then get rid of the pulls and try it just body weight. Once you've advanced that, the next step is we would start weighting it. We almost always weight it by doing what's called a press out first. So here I have a 10-pound plate. You could use a light dumbbell, a medicine ball, a sandbag, but I do the same thing, and now I'm just simply weighting it and I'm pressing that weight out as a counterbalance as I do the exercise. Okay, so that's the first progression. From there, we can weight it heavier, either with a kettlebell or a dumbbell. I'll show you from this angle. If I'm going to use a kettlebell or a dumbbell, I'm going to hold it on the same side as the leg that's descending. And as I go down, I'm going to simply trace the inside of my stance leg, making sure that the kettlebell isn't pulling me into an unfavorable posture. I'm keeping a proud chest. All the weight stays in that working leg, and I come up. Alternatively, you have the option to hold it in a front rack position if you're using a kettlebell specifically. And that's another way to hold the weight. If I ran out of the ability to hold all the weight in one hand, I could do a double front rack position with the kettlebell. Lots of fun ways to weight this movement. If you haven't tried this exercise, give it a go. It's a lot of fun. And once you get good at it, you'll be impressed by your ability to move some significant weight on one leg.